We meet some really cool metal fans out there doing these videos.
Not today, asshole.
Today we are talking about the most toxic fandoms in the metal community. All right, and I am here with Mad Mike and the Metal Meltdown to appropriately, and let's just dive in. So I want to start kind of with a baseline here, and kind of a shocker too, because this was a band in terms of their fan base. We ranked them all the way at the top last time we did this, but I did a really, one of my most negative reviews this year was of that latest Five Finger Death Punch album, and I was expecting quite a backlash based on past experience, but honestly, they're pretty chill. I have them way down at the bottom. I had maybe 2 or 3 kind of nut jobs who posted some pretty bizarre stuff, but other than that, most of them, even the big fans were like, yeah, I love these guys, but this album kind of sucks. They were pretty cool about it. So thoughts?
Oh boy. I'll say this. It definitely feels
based on this year. It
I'll definitely feels like Five Finger Death Punch's fucking grip on metal is much looser than it used to be. Which is great. Awesome. That means less stupid fanboys. I will say there were still some pretty wild and depraved comments in my particular review.
There are a handful, for sure.
But for the most part, it does seem like the fan base has either grown up and moved on, or they're a little more self-aware at this point. So I don't know if I would put them in pretty chill, but they're definitely not as unhinged as they used to be.
Well, I do know my astute colleague Gerrymander is still a huge fan of them and absolutely adored this album so much.
Good for him too.
Yeah, and you know what? I wanted to give it a bad review, but he had a gun to my head. He had 5. He has a whole room of them. I don't know what happened there, but yeah. So I just. I'm like, you know what?
Dude,
I'm not gonna
call someone. That is not healthy. That is not safe.
Yeah, he's got pictures of me, man. I just don't know what to do at this point.
You call the FBI. That's what you fucking do. There's some shit going on there.
Well,
oh my lord,
we're in Canada. It's the RCMP, dude. Come on.
Call someone. You call him what you like.
You know what? I'll call Chompy. There we go.
Call Chompy. Yeah, he'll take care of him.
Call the Mounties. Call the
Mounties.
Yeah.
So aside from Gerrymander, how do you feel about the Five Finger Death Punch fan base?
I mean, I didn't review that new album, but I did hover your comment sections quite a bit, and compared to what happened to that video for your last Five Finger Death Punch review, they quite redeemed themselves. It's oh yeah, they are kind of starting to realize, this stuff is shit. Okay, that's good.
Yeah, either that, or they're okay, at the very least, we recognize this is not as good as it used to be, and there's also no need to literally shed blood over this.
Yeah. That's a vast improvement. I think that was the thing that stood out to me the most was the shift from them being just totally, honestly insane based on that other video to how little backlash there was to that video compared to other ones.
This is the only video about Five Finger Death Punch I made where I didn't end up having to block comments because of racism and homophobia and death threats and shit.
Yeah. So people can change.
Baby steps.
So to put this in context, though, let's talk about a group of people who really were just awful, awful to me. Let's talk about the Megadeth fandom.
Really?
So
shit.
Okay.
I'm putting them all the way at the top.
Wow.
Based on now this was the crazy part too, because I didn't even put out a super negative video. I did that Megadeth tier list, and I actually talked pretty positively about the latest album because I kind of enjoyed it. It was a lot better than I expected it to be. But people took a lot of issue with where I ranked certain things. Euthanasia was the biggest sticking point. It's euthanasia's so low, well, you're a fucking idiot, blah, blah, blah. And I got berated with comments to an uncomfortable degree where these people were super angry. They took it very personally. And I considered having them not quite at the top because there are some fandoms we'll get into that were even worse, but they definitely were among the worst this year out of everything for me personally.
I didn't realize that the Megadeth fans really came after you. I remember reading some dumb comments, but nothing that crazy. I'll say this, when you're dealing with a legacy band, which Megadeth absolutely are at this point, you're always going to get wackos. Like, always.
Yeah, for sure.
And it doesn't help that Dave, like him or not, has had some pretty interesting viewpoints over the years, and as such has attracted some pretty interesting people to his side. But I will say, as far as my video is concerned, I think the biggest issue I had was people either going, "This is stupid, overrated tripe, and you're a hyperbolic idiot," and other people going like, "This is the best thrash metal record ever goddamn made, and you're an idiot." So either way, I'm an idiot, so whatever.
I don't really have much to say on this, except for if Megadeth fans are that easily triggered, then I'm going to trigger them even more by saying one word: Metallica.
How dare you?
Oh, God.
Dun, 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 dun. Oh, that's it. That's all you need to say.
I'm done. I'll be in my trailer.
End of video.
Yeah.
Go cry. Yeah, people take things way too personally is really the theme of this entire list. Yeah. Let's go to another kind of lesser one. I was a little up and down with this one. I could see it even moving up a little bit, but I have Machine Head on here. I didn't have them super high. They definitely weren't at the bottom. I'm putting them in a category that I just kind of refer to as name callers. So these are people who, like, they kind of comment, they're like, "Nice mask," or "You're a fucking idiot." And then that's it. And I'm like, I still consider that relatively harmless because it's like, I can't even engage with that. It just makes me laugh. And then I move on with my day. You know, it's just stupid bullshit. People were none too happy that I talked shit about the latest album, which wasn't terrible, but
it was an album.
Yeah.
It exists.
It was definitely an album for sure. But yeah, they definitely weren't the worst. I got a lot of people kind of ticked off from the fandom, but also an equal... I'd say in most cases, and I want to clarify this too, we are not generalizing any of these as like the entire fandom. I met really cool people from every single one of these fandoms that we're going to be talking about.
Depends on the band. I can see some of the names on that tier list, and I'm like, I don't know, man. But we'll cross that bridge when we...
Surprisingly, even some of the worst ones, like there were a handful at least of people that were pretty cool. But I don't know if you all had anything else to say about the Machine Head fandom.
You know, I don't even really care all that much about Machine Head, and that was kind of the response I got from people who tuned in. They were just kind of like, whatever.
You
guys were right. They definitely made an album this year. My favorite part of that album was like when the singer was just like, "It's Machine Head in time," and then just Machine Head.
That was my favorite.
So let's do another one that I would put pretty high. So again, not at the top, but one of the ones that I got probably the biggest like girth of comments from.
Oh yeah, do it. Yeah.
Motionless and White. This is a category I'm just calling legit angry. So like these people were like, you act they act like you like took a shit on their like church's crucifix or something. Like it's just like the level of vitriol I got from these people, and also like the lack of self-awareness is what always bothers me, because again, there's plenty of bands I like that I would agree are pretty cringy in many different ways, but I just roll with that, and I'm like, yeah, I know, but I still have fun with it. And there were some Motionless and White fans that were totally like that. They literally were saying like, I know it's cringe, but I have a blast with it. And I'm like, hey, awesome. Cool on you. Like, you're the type of people I love to talk to. But then there were a ton of people who were just so, Motionless is White, it's not cringe, and how dare you say that, and
that's cringe,
my golden god. And it's just, it just added to my point of how cringe I find some of this stuff. To be fair, I'm sure a lot of these fans are pretty young, so I can't be too hard on them, but they definitely earned a place higher up on this list for sure.
Yeah, Motionless and White doesn't strike me as a band that's going to have an audience like that's at like over 50 or 40 or something like that.
Over 30.
Yeah, or even over 30. I mean, who knows? Because like you might have been maybe 16 when that first album came out, and by now you're in your late 20s or whatever. So
yeah, fair enough.
It's possible.
Yeah, they're going to be on like one of those... you know those tours now with like Blink 182 and Good Charlotte and all that?
Oh my God.
Like, they're going to be on a
one
tour
of those
like
they'll open. They're doing that right now with Black Veil Brides and Ice Nine Kills. Just like, we're the old, sad, and cringe tour. That's what we are.
I will say, as far as Motionless and White fans go, like they handled my video like champs. I think they realized that it was mostly just a complete shit post, and they were like, you know what, this is funny. I'm not even mad. Good for you. I'm like, okay, that's great. You guys.
I am happy that you had that experience.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, I had enough stupid comments to make a drinking game, but I will say, overall, the response was mostly from like very clearly young people who were like, "This is the best band ever," and if you love them, great, more power to you.
Yeah, that's fine.
Like, this isn't something that I would have jammed when I was 16, but I totally get that there are lots of people that will jam this when they're 16, and more power to them. But, like, for me, the record was just overproduced, and this band's been really hit and miss. Fanbase has always been weird. I'll never forget seeing these guys at Mayhem 2013, and, like, 800,000 fucking goth kids showed up specifically for Motionless in White and then left. Like, it's so weird.
Which is funny because they accuse everyone else of disrespecting their band, but then they're perpetually disrespecting all the other bands at the show.
Yeah, and that same show was like Mastodon, Amon Amarth, Rob Zombie, like a lot of big respectable names within metal. But like, and I'm not even like,
you think they would have at least stuck around for Zombie?
Yeah, Zombie
like, there's
makes
some crossover there,
but whatever. Motionless in White are a band. I think they're really, really, really fucking silly, but clearly they're doing something right because they're selling records, so whatever.
Yeah, good for them, and my wish for their success.
Yeah, nothing personal. I don't know.
A lot of the people in the legit angry category got pretty cringe, but there's a separate lower category, I'd say, where it's like cringe sad, where it's like cringe, but also they don't have the numbers to back them up. Because at least like the Motionless and White fans, they're like an army. They're like a cringe army, so
army
they can like kind of support each other.
Holy shit.
But for cringe, let's go ahead. I'm going to throw Pantera fan base in there.
Oh
now,
my God.
I got some really, really cringe comments from people. I know I got some on my Pantera tier list again because I didn't rank things correctly. And then I know Metal Meltdown, you got a bunch from that video you did about
Oh lordy, did I ever.
The reunion that's not a reunion, it's a tribute or whatever, the buzzword is for it.
I'm not allowed to say that it's a reunion even though it's being marketed and sold as a fucking reunion, so whatever.
Yeah.
Well, you know what, fellow patriots? I think this reunion is the greatest thing that's ever happened since sliced bread.
Oh shit, Jerry, what up?
Jerry, you weren't invited to this
and it's
call.
Making me wetter than Nancy Pelosi at Guantanamo. Anyways.
Mike, you just missed it. Gerrymander was here.
Oh
man,
I gotta fire that motherfucker. Anyways, yeah. So,
God damn, bro.
You got to get him off.
I admire his tenacity. I'll give him that. Like he's
for sure.
He's got integrity. I'll give him.
It was people that I could tell are still trapped back when Pantera was like truly relevant and like a peak band that everybody talked about. They've like never left. They've never left that. Like they're still just living in that time. And the music I enjoy, but it's like some of the defenses people have of this group are just truly cringe and just really sad, and they don't have the numbers again to back them up anymore. You just picture a bunch of people in white beaters drinking Miller Lite.
It's sad because
the words out of my mouth.
Mourning the days where they peaked in high school.
Yeah, like the average Pantera.
That's a great term.
The average Pantera fan is like in his like late 40s. Like you're close to going to like a nursing home in like 10 years, dude. Like. Go to sleep.
Man, they really fucked up if they go into a nursing home at 57.
we have other bands that'll fall into that category for sure. But just to keep us rolling, because we got so much to talk about, I will add our last category here, and this is what I call big brain.
Big brain.
So our big brain people who like to post big multi-paragraph rants explaining why you're wrong and you just don't get it. And I can think of no better band to start this tier with than Tool.
Tool.
Yeah, you already knew what I was going to say. Like, it has to be Tool.
They are the prog metal Pantera.
Absolutely. And they continue to live up to their reputation. This year, the big thing was they made that re-recorded version of Opiate that I did not care for. Like, I did a reaction to it, and I voiced my opinion that I love the original version. I generally hate when people remake stuff, and I just didn't think this had the same kick to it, and that should just be fine, right? Like, that's just my opinion. But man,
no, that
is my number one video still. Yeah. Well, not anymore, actually. It finally got supplanted, but it was my number one video for a long time, mostly because, and these people need to understand it if you're watching our video now, when you post angry comments and dislikes on a video, that is still pushing the video forward in the YouTube algorithm. You are only helping us. So thank you for massive success.
Mad.
Stay mad. Keep posting those paragraphs, because I swear it's like per character. YouTube is like, wow, people are really interested in this video. I'm going to keep recommending it to new people. They'll write dissertations on it. So yeah, a lot of people, you don't get it, man. Like, how you talk shit about Tool? You don't understand.
Well, to be fair, you have to have a very high IQ to enjoy Tool. The musicianship is very
I know, right?
Don't fucking start.
And something
Tool and Rick and Morty.
Fibonacci sequence, you know the deal. Like,
yeah. You have to know how algebra works.
Ride the
and,
spiral.
Like, the meaning of life, and Da Vinci Code, and the.
Yep.
I will say I awarded Ginger fans a year ago with that #1 toxic fan base tier, like that trophy.
they were pretty bad.
Tool fans, you proved me wrong. Like you saw that video and you were like, okay, challenge accepted. I took that personally.
Challenge, yeah.
And like, yeah.
They like, we can't let any fandom supplant us. So you're gonna have to go to war with these other 2 tiers above you, because you're slipping, y'all.
Yeah. I would.
It is funny you mentioned Ginger though. It is funny you mentioned Ginger though, because just today I got a comment from somebody saying like, oh, am I allowed to like Ginger now? And I'm like, you're still thinking about that? And you're posting on a completely unrelated, like, come on. And it's funny because I like Ginger. I think Ginger's a good band. I enjoy their music.
No, you
so
don't.
to
No
have
one's
this,
allowed
like,
to like...
the fact that they live rent free in anyone's head to that degree is just like astounding to me.
Dude, that's my goal.
Dude,
that is unironically my goal.
I know, seriously. It's like, dude, I'm not that important. Like, you're even saying that, but you can't stop thinking about a video I made over a year ago.
It's free real estate, man.
Literally touch grass. It's free real estate. All right, we should press forward. So another one, surprisingly chill, and I'm cheating a little bit with this one because this was still related more so to a video I put out last year, but I think it was after we did our last Toxic Fan tier list, excuse me. And so I included Limp Bizkit. And Limp Bizkit fans...
hard agree to disagree right off the bat.
Okay, all right, go off, King. Go off. Because they were really chill to me, but then again, I was pretty nice in my video to
look,
all of
if you love Limp
music.
Bizkit, great. More power to you. I don't care what the reason is why you love them. You love them, great. I'm happy for you. Please continue to love them. But don't fucking sit here and tell me that this band, they're self-aware. They're really intelligent. They fucking get... No, they don't. They fucking don't. And they fucking know it. Stop it. It's dumb fucking college frat boy rap rock. Stop pretending it's anything else. And stop turning into a fucking psychopath every time someone says that your favorite fucking white boy rap metal band is shit. Calm down. Christ. Like,
yeah, I'm sure...
Like, that still sucks album review. Like, it's dislike wise probably the most unpopular thing I've done in the past year. Like, it just got nuked. And ironically, I didn't really. I mean, you were more positive towards the album, but somewhat ironically, a lot of our points were very much the same.
You were teenagers when Limp Bizkit was huge. Now you're in your 40s and you're still pissed off. Like, go out and like shoot around a golf or something, man. Like, stop
I feel like, I stand by what I said. Like, I feel like it's a lot of people who love Limp Bizkit because of the memes, and people who grew up loving Limp Bizkit and they never grew out of that phase, and now they're having like a midlife crisis, and it's like, no, this is still cool, right? It's like, man, if you want to just have fun, then do it. Have fun, but stop pretending this is more than what it is.
Well, yeah, and be self-aware, because this is a good example of a band that I enjoyed the shit out of, but I know it's fucking cringe as hell. Like, absolutely, 100%. And if somebody comes up to me, you included, you're like, this fucking sucks, I'm gonna be like, okay, cool, and then I turn the volume up.
you're like, yeah, kind of,
my head
place it louder. Which,
so,
you know,
all right,
fine, you want to break stuff, but like, stop
yeah.
pretending it's big brain shit, because it ain't.
Yeah. Well, you know, sometimes it's just one of those days where you don't want to wake up, you know?
And also, like...
All right, I'll tell you what.
To be fair, you have to have a very high IQ as well to like Limp Bizkit.
to understand.
For that alone, Limp Bizkit has to go in the big brain tier. Mad Mike went as far as to directly compare them to Tool.
Trust me, we've got bigger fish to fry in big brain. I'll tell you what, though. I will put them into at least name callers, because I think we can move. You know what? I feel willing to move. I was going to have Spirit Box in that category based on more so kind of lingering feelings about last year, because I had a similar experience with them over my Eternal Blue review. I'll tell you, Eternal Blue last year is basically what Pain Remains is this year, but we'll get to that. So, everybody was raving about this album and came out, and I thought it was a solid mid, just a mid album. I really like them. I really like Courtney as a vocalist, but I wasn't too kind with them. But they did put out that new EP this year, did a reaction to that new song, and I had some criticisms on there, and mostly people were chill. There are still a couple lingering people who clearly came back from that previous review still angry with me. But overall, they were definitely more chill. But then again, I wasn't as mean. So that's always, to me, the true test of a fandom is when you piss them off, can they take it? Can they take the heat?
Yeah. Being a true fan does not mean loving everything blindly. It means being honest when something sucks and accepting when somebody thinks that something sucks. Like, in the case
but dude, if you say you don't like something everyone else loves, don't you know that just makes you a contrarian?
Yes,
and you're just doing it for the views?
That's also true. You're just doing it for the views, bro. What else is the point of YouTube then? I hate that argument of like, this is just for the views. Of course it is. That's what YouTube is all about.
Well, and here's the thing though, it's not just for the views.
Are you doing
it's
this
like,
job just for the money?
We're not,
yes.
Yeah, like we want the views, but we're not making up our opinions. I don't wake up in the morning and go, oh, everybody loves this album, so I'm going to totally take a shit on it so that I get a bunch of views. If I wanted to do that, like, I'd just start like a fucking drama channel.
You can do it right. You can do it right now. Be like
this is not the right place to do that.
Easy.
Like, on the whole, nobody really gives a fuck. When we're thinking about the whole population, nobody truly gives a fuck if you don't like an album. Ultimately.
I would really hope
it's a very
not.
niche thing. Like, it's so stupid. But, if I really wanted to do that, then I'd at least, if I wanted to stay in music, I'd get into pop music and I'd start talking shit about the latest, like, big Kanye West album or whatever, like,
we're gonna rank Queen Bey on this tier list.
Oh god. Well, let's add a little bit more cringe here. So Kid Rock.
Oh my god.
Boy.
Which some people are like, dude, they're not even metal, and I'm like, yes,
everyone
unhinged.
I know.
All of you, shut the fuck up right now.
Case in point. Case in point.
I was gonna put them unhinged, but there's worse. Was the reality. Like, I did that whole video kind of talking about how people are kind of being taken for a ride by Kid Rock, and people didn't really care for that.
The grifter.
It very much feels like a grift, but the fact that like there are that many people,
fake news, the liberals, media. It's like, bro, you grew up rich on a farm in Michigan. Shut up. I will say this: the Kid Rock fan base by default is kind of unhinged because we're talking about like the far right. I'm not talking about the guy who voted for a Republican once. I'm talking about the guy who's in court right now.
The conspiracy theorist
stuff.
Well, I will say my God, the comments on my fucking review, Jesus Christ, man. Calm the fuck down.
Yeah, the only reason they didn't get higher was because I just find it sad. Like, they're another fandom where I just find it sad. I don't like it's hard for me to to really feel anything about anything.
I got called
with
a
them.
snowflake twice, actually. Let's see here. Oh yeah, you're fat. That's another one. Let's see here. Yeah, put down the fries and go walk, kid. Okay, thank you.
Yeah,
fuck you.
I'll do
all
both.
the typical ad hominem and NPC responses, which is funny because they love to use the NPC meme.
Then one of them was like, "Can you move out of your mom's basement?" And then I decided to fuck around with them. So I'm like, you know what? I actually live in Nancy Pelosi's basement. She's kidnapping me.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
She forced me to give this a bad review. Please help.
Help.
Help
me.
They're fucked.
Now there's an idea for an April Fool's video.
Okay, I'm taking over from Mad Mike right now. Kid Rock is the greatest thing that ever happened to sliced bread. He is the greatest American hero of all fucking time, and you libtards need to shut the fuck up. Especially you Dixie chicks. I don't care about your free speech. What about Hank Williams Jr.? Hank Williams Jr., he's practicing free speech. Why'd you ban him? Ban the Dixie chicks instead. God damn it, America.
I'm impressed. I expected Gerrymander to hang
we
up.
We are truly off the rails right now. All right, moving on. We got to move on or we'll never get through this. All right, so another one that made it into the big brain category, which was honestly disappointing for me. Let's include the Rammstein fans. Now,
accurate.
I did a tier list on these guys. This was another case of why'd you rank this here, and big paragraphs, you don't get it. But honestly, even more annoying than that made me think of the big brain for them was, even though I genuinely tried, I've taken college courses on German. I'm a little rusty. I looked up the pronunciations to get them as best as I could. I'm trying. And even though on other videos where I totally butcher pronunciations and people don't give a shit, it was like some of these German fans like really could not handle that an American actually tried and did not do it well enough in their opinion. I got way too many comments like that, in addition to explaining why my ranking was incorrect, as they put it. And that is just the most obnoxious, lamest thing that I can think of.
One of you guys get like...
Yeah, I got a lot of that too. Like a lot of people just like, oh, you pronounced that wrong. And I'm like, that's correct. I did, because I'm a dumb white Canadian. Did you expect me to nail it on my first try? Yeah. Like, Jesus.
I'm going to start just mispronouncing things on purpose.
Didn't one of you guys...
just going to start calling them Ramstein all the time. And
didn't
just
one of you
to make
guys
them
get
mad.
like a random commenter saying like, you're not part of the elite race. You can't like talk about Ramstein.
Yes,
yes!
Me.
Oh my God,
me.
I forgot about that
red
one.
Red flag like a motherfucker. Oh my
Oh
Lord.
my God. Yeah, it was cryptic enough that we weren't really sure what he was saying, but it was like, okay, I think I know what you're saying,
it's like,
and you need to get the fuck out of here.
I need to make sure that you know what you're saying, like... because if you do know what you're saying, then holy shit, I'm calling someone.
Straight up Aryan Brotherhood shit there, man.
Oh my God.
Fucking crazy.
That one really took me aback. Like, I read that and was like, am I reading what I think I'm reading? Like, I had to double check.
This is like an industrial band that sings about dicks and sex. Calm down. Like,
yeah, dude, chill the fuck out, dude. And like, they would not be down with that either. Like, they fucking shit on people like that. Like, so goofy.
Rammstein is supremely anti-fascist, so it's really funny that like that would be, a fan would fucking say that shit.
I was disappointed. I'm very disappointed dad energy right now.
Yeah, I was too, because I consider myself a pretty big Rammstein fan.
Because we ranked them like pretty low on the last one, and I was like,
yes,
they're pretty harmless, and all that, and like, guys,
but then
you're not supposed to take that as a challenge, like for fuck's sakes, man.
Yeah. And again, mind you too, so I said it's really telling when you put a fan base to the heat and whether they can handle it, but it's even more telling when you are nice about an album and they still get fucking pissed off about something. And this was definitely one of those cases. But again, met a lot of cool Rammstein fans too, from both America, Germany, and everywhere else. Like, there were some cool ones out there. But moving along to another fan base that I'd really kicked the hornet's nest with, right alongside Motionless and White, Ice Nine Kills. These two are like a pair because they share a fan base, really, is what it ultimately comes down to. I got mostly comments just being like, dude, Ice Nine Kills and Motionless and White are not cringe. You're a fucking asshole, and you're fat, and you're chubby, and you wear a mask, and you're stupid. And it's like, mind you, these are fans of a band that wear masks and makeup and costumes and all that shit. It's like, okay, you have no idea.
Wearing a mask is cringe.
But they were like super mad, and again, big army. Came in big numbers. I gotta kind of respect it on some level that they go hard for their band, but man, is it unwarranted?
I got so many comments that were like, Ice Nine Kills is the most unique band ever. They invented the fusion of horror and metal.
They could go in big brain category too.
Movies or video games if it wasn't for Ice Nine Kills. It's like, bro, calm down.
No metal band ever has been horror themed.
Like, these two worlds have been symbiotically connected.
Well, Ice Nine Kills. I remember when I completely trashed them in my my albums of the year list from last year. And I trashed with Silver Cringe 2 or whatever that thing was called.
Yeah, basically.
Like, I had somebody shared that video and someone commented saying, this guy just starts his video criticizing Ice Nine in a very disrespectful way. I'm never watching anything this guy does again.
How dare you?
So, yeah. Also,
how dare you not like something?
But guys, they combine metal with horror.
Which obviously no one ever did.
Nobody's ever done that
Mortician,
before.
They inspired Black Sabbath to do the same thing. Come on, man.
They traveled back in time and they introduced Tony Iommi to Dracula and also metal music.
They like horror.
King Diamond copied them.
Yeah, King Diamond copied. So did Gwar. So did Alice Cooper. Marilyn Manson. Rob Zombie.
Good Lord. Yeah, they could very easily fit in the big brain category.
If you're arguing that Ice Nine Kills invented the horror metal mashup, then that tells me you know nothing about either metal or horror.
we've got to continue. So, all right, another one for unhinged and worse than Megadeth. This is the most recent addition here, Lorna Shore.
Really?
I am still getting comments on that video at an alarming rate. People do not like that.
Your video
I
blew
called
up.
that album. But the funniest thing to me is I can tell most of these people did not. They saw the thumbnail, they clicked, and they started pounding on their keyboard, all pissed off. They didn't even watch it, because by the end, I say, love Will, great vocals. I love what he's doing. Very talented musicians. I think the guitar player is awesome. I think the drummer's awesome. I just have criticisms over the repetitive nature of the songwriting, in my humble opinion, and I give it a B-. I give it a fucking 8 out of 10, and you're still gonna be mad. It's like, dude, accept criticism. So, like, to me, that truly is unhinged when, like, somebody likes the same band that you do, because I do like Lorna Shore.
Okay, I see where you're coming from then.
I just think they could do better. Like, it's just absolutely insane to me.
But you're such a contrarian.
Yeah. Well, I'm getting tons of those comments. You're a contrarian. You're just doing it for the views. And then the people who think that a ratio matters on YouTube. And I'm like, bro, I'll tell you right now, like, as of the recording, if y'all want to know, it's at a 41% like to dislike ratio. And I wear that like a fucking, like, what does Tyrion say in Game of Thrones? He's like, take that shit and wear it like an armor. Dislikes and likes, YouTube doesn't give a shit. If it's a click,
are still views.
If it's a click, YouTube goes, thumbs up. We're pushing this to more people, and then y'all need to chill the fuck out, because I am a fan of the same band you are. I just think they could have done better. That is all, dude, and I'm free to share my opinion.
You're just clickbait, contrarian, take your
just
mask
clickbait.
off, you know, all that stuff. Yeah.
Yep. Stupid mask, chubby guy.
Lorna Shore and I have had a very interesting relationship over the years. When the CJ McCreery stuff happened, I dared to suggest that maybe he sort of did a bad thing, and that did not go over well.
How dare you?
We had Austin Archie on the channel, and, you know, cool guy. I would have no issue having the rest of the Lorna Shore guys on the channel.
Austin is incredible. He's an incredible player. Like,
oh yeah, dude's massively talented. As far as the Pain Remains review is concerned, there were a couple comments where it's like, no, you're wrong. Take the L. This is the best album ever made ever. But, like, I don't know, in general, I've seen the best and the worst of the Lorna Shore fan base, so, like, I feel but I don't know. I don't know if I'd quite put them unhinged.
Yeah, it's the quantity and just how mad some of these people are. Now, again, there are other people in the comments who, 59% or whatever of them are pissed off, but there's another 41% that are like, yeah, I agree, this album's super repetitive, it could have been better, or like whatever. So there's some really cool people in there. And another thing I said too is, like, if this had not been hyped up the entire year as like this is gonna be the album of the year, I wouldn't have played as much hardball with it, because there are plenty of other albums too that are worse than this one, but I didn't go in as hard because they didn't get like hyped up and rated so highly. But to hear all these people be like, it's 10 out of 10, best album of the year. If you think that, fine. But I just think that is like ignoring how much amazing music has come out this year. Yeah. And just willfully ignorant of all the other good stuff. So
to me,
that's
that
my
album
piece.
was Diet Shadow of Intent. Like, that's really...
I mean, Shadow of Intent, definitely best deathcore record of the year for me, at least.
That's well, and credit to the Shadow of Intent fans too. I've been pretty vocal that I was pretty underwhelmed by Elegy as well, even though I'm a big Shadow of Intent fan, loved Melancholy. I know, how dare I? But I will say, I put out that review, barely got any backlash whatsoever. There were definitely people who were like, no, man, this is a great album, whatever, but they were chill. They were super chill. In fact, I should have included them on here, but we have enough bands to talk about.
There's
already.
Still like 6 more to go, as I can see, unless you've got a fucking hidden one somewhere.
No, we gotta continue on. So back to the bottom here, one that kind of surprised me because I went pretty hard on them too, and I've been very vocal over the years that I think that this band in general is kind of like diet metalcore. Parkway Drive. People were pretty cool about it. Like, some people were like, actually, you rated the album higher than I would have, and I can't believe you didn't put Deep Blue higher or whatever and this and that. But for the most part, like, nobody was truly pissed off. Like, they were all, even though I was very vocal as like, I think that even their best albums are like a C tier compared to like my favorite metalcore albums. Even saying that, people were just kind of like, okay, It's cool, which is how it should be. It's like, okay, that's just my opinion. If you love Parkway Drive, great. I don't know if either of you had any experiences with this fan base.
I briefly talked about this album in an Albums I Missed video, the new one, Darker Still, and there was almost no reaction to it. Everyone was just like, yeah, it's Parkway Drive. And even in that video, I was like, yep, it's Parkway Drive. This is not a band I've ever paid a ton of attention to, so there's nothing I can really add to this part of the conversation.
Yeah, same here. They're a band that exists.
I'll take your word
They're
for
a band.
it.
They're a band that exists. Well, we can just continue on then. Speaking of metalcore, I also have Trivium on here.
Trivium fans are weird sometimes.
They were weird. They weren't terrible. There were definitely some name callers in there. They were a little bit of big brain energy in there too, because God forbid I put a Silence in the Snow like top tier, which is like infamously seen as one of their quote unquote worst albums. And there were some people who were just like, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You're an idiot. Bye. I'm just like, okay, I don't know what to do with that. So they weren't that bad.
I haven't had any online experiences with their fucking fans, but I've definitely had some IRL experiences with some Trivium fans. And I will tell you, they are absolute fucking Ebola. And
are they?
Jesus, whoa.
To even dare to suggest that Trivium just might be the Olive Garden of metalcore is like, I might as well have shot their dog. Like, holy fuck, Jesus Christ.
The Garden of metalcore.
Oh my God.
That's how I feel too, though. Like, Trivium and Parkway Drive. Plenty of great Trivium fans in our Discord that go hard for them. I know Pair of Jeans Reviews even, like, particularly really enjoys them. And that's cool. Like,
they're a fun live band.
It just makes the conversation more fun when we don't agree, in my opinion. Like, we get to have a more full back and forth about what we like and what we don't like.
I will say, when I reviewed What the Dead Men Say a couple years back, there were a couple comments that do border on like Tool big brain territory, where it was like, you don't get it. Matt Heafy is an accomplished songwriter, and it's okay if you don't like it, but it's objectively good songwriting. And I'm like, that's not really how that works, but okay.
No. And big props to Matt, because again, I think he's a very talented guitar player, and I really love what he's doing to kind of very craftily expose metalcore fans to other types of music with like the Ibaraki project he just did with Ishan, and he's working on some other stuff too with other like more extreme metal musicians. All right, let's continue on to cringe territory. I decided that let's get some more boomers on the table here.
Oh, Ozzy.
I'm putting an Ozzy Osbourne up here. My comment section was relatively tame because again, I was pretty nice to this album. I kind of enjoyed it. But even so, there were like this is not as good as the old stuff and here's why. And then also like, no, you're wrong. Like, it's even better than you say it is. And y'all kids don't have respect for anything. I'm like, dude, I'm fucking 36, but okay. It's whatever.
You punk kids.
Get off my lawn.
Get off my lawn.
That kind of energy. They weren't so bad, which is why, again, like the bad comments I got, they were just more sad than anything else. Yeah, pretty cringe. Not saying Ozzy's cringe again. I'm saying that the fan base is it's a little time to move on. Time to move on, people. And also let Ozzy just retire, man. Let the poor man rest.
Retire, man. That's what blows. Like, even just talking about the album was like, fine, whatever. A couple hit and miss comments, but the moment I dared to suggest that Ozzy, at the age of 73, has earned the right to retire. Boom!
No,
like,
he must dance. He must dance for us for all eternity.
I think I said in the Angry Fanboy drinking game, capitalism has made you all so fucking brain broken that you think you should just work until you die. And I said that drunk, but I kind of still stand by it because my God. Let that man retire.
What do you mean? You can't work until you die? Meltdown?
Jerry, no.
Fuck no.
Jerry, we don't have...
Fuck you.
Like, I mean, look, if Ozzy wants to make music forever,
you,
good for him. All I'm suggesting is that he has earned the right to retire.
The sad part is that he
never will. That's the sad part.
He won't even retire after he's dead, because Sharon's going to bring up a hologram of him, right? Like,
God, yeah. There'll be like it'll be like the Michael Jackson or Tupac shit where there's a bunch of albums hidden in a vault somewhere, you know? Or a bunch of old demos that'll get turned into something else.
They're gonna Weekend at Bernie's that shit. Yeah, like, we don't need that.
Haul them out on stage and shit. Just prop them up like maybe they'll do what Static X does, and they'll bring out some guy dressed up like Ozzy. That would be sad.
That is a little disturbing.
That would make me
isn't
cry
it?
a little.
Yeah. Ugh, no.
Yeah, I love Ozzy, but the fan base just radiates pure cringe boomer energy.
Let's move on to Big Brain again. Now, these guys kind of like straddle the line between cringe and Big Brain, but honestly, Slipknot ended up on Big Brain category of all categories. Because again, tier list, big sticking point was my ranking of Volume 3, so I definitely got a lot of explanations as to why I'm just an elitist and I'll never be like Iowa again and I should just stop caring about that. And Volume 3 was a masterpiece and We Are Not Your Kind is the best thing ever. And then also paragraphs, even though I was like, I enjoyed the new album, people being like, this is their worst album ever and now you have no value of your opinion. I've unsubscribed. Blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, bro, it's fucking Slipknot. Like, they call their fans maggots. Like, come on now. Are we really going to take this that seriously?
Yeah, we're talking about a group of guys who vomit in their jumpsuits for a living. Like, let's take it down a notch.
Slipknot. More like shit not.
Oh,
got him. Got him.
I think
Michael
I'd
see himself out now.
I think I'd personally put them closer to like name callers, but I also haven't had like a ton of crazy negative experiences. The worst I've had where it's been like, you know, whatever. This is real metal. This is this from like people who very obviously like, this is, you know, this is what you love. This is what you listen to. More power to you.
I also get people explaining why, like, because I make fun of tracks like Yen, where it's just like so cringe and so like generic, and it's just like lyrics you've heard like a billion times before from your fucking like 4th grade boyfriend who has never really talked to a girl before, like, and people are like, no man, like you just don't understand real emotion, you just don't like any music that's emotional. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? I listen to like Fiona Apple. Like, get the fuck out of here. Like, you don't know me. Stop pretending that you know me. Like, these people, they think just because they've seen one video from you, they know everything about you.
I'll say this about the probably the worst comment I had from the worst type of comment from the Slipknot album review was like people like, how dare you fucking criticize Corey for his lyrics about cancel culture? And I'm just like, why does it bother you so much, bro? Like, fuck off. Who cares? I don't care. Like, I'm sorry. You're not going to convince me that a man in his fucking 40s whining about people being mean to him on the internet is fucking like really clever and powerful.
Yeah,
like you're not going to convince me that that's not cringe.
Yeah. Speaking of which, let's talk about Falling in Reverse. That's a good
Meltdown.
segue.
Have some fun here, man.
Oh man.
Another
first
go.
off, Ronnie
You just
Radke
go for it.
eat
Just
my
go
shit.
for it.
Where are they? Legit angry? I can live with that. There are a lot of fans who acknowledge I don't expect Ronnie Radke to be a role model. I don't want him to be a role model. It's fucking stupid to expect any rock star to be a fucking role model. But the man is like, what is he, like 38, 39 years old? And he's still acting the same way he did now. Like, he's acting the same way he did 10 years ago. And the lengths that fans will go to defend that is so absurd to me. Like, you can recognize that he's not a great person and also still enjoy the music. Like, people do it all the time. Like, stop pretending this man's an angel and that he's changed. He hasn't, and I have the fucking receipts to prove it.
But he's been given a second chance.
And this is another case, too, where it's like a 40-year-old man, like, they're canceling you. It's like, bro, no, they're not. You continue to sell millions of records. Why are you? Yeah. You are proof that cancel culture is at the very least not that big of a fucking deal.
Yeah, and then bringing it back to the fans, like just the constant defense of like, no man, they're like the best band ever. They write the best songs. They're so original.
They write some of the worst songs I've ever heard. Remember Alone? Like, that's got to have the worst fucking chorus I've ever heard in my life. Yeah. With like the fucking rap metal right before it too. Yeah,
and again, it's simple. It's like, if you like it, go enjoy it. Don't get mad that other people don't like it or find it cringe. Like, it's not a big deal. It really isn't. It really shouldn't even bother you. It should roll right off your back. You have some serious maturing to do. Like, just
much like
the fact
Ronnie.
that you're, yeah. See, I mean, it kind of makes sense, doesn't it? So just the fact that there's so little self-awareness, and again, like the fact that you get so angry just because somebody doesn't like the artist that you like.
Still waiting for Ronnie to come get me too.
Yeah, because don't make me come
Still
get
waiting.
you, bro.
Let me know, Ronnie. I'll dress my best.
Yeah, seriously. For the sake of time, I'm going to move on to our last one. So this is the winner, easily, for the most toxic fan base of the entire year. And that is basically going to the entire like young hardcore scene. Specifically the online Twitter warrior Redditor hardcore community. This one's for you. Like, I'm not going to relitigate the whole thing, but basically what happened is, I'm not even going to say the band name again, but a band played a show.
I know who now. Yeah.
Yeah, a band from this scene played a show. And normally I stay out of pylons and sharing my opinion on like band behavior outside that, because like other people can deal with that, right? But I had the venue owner reach out to me, as well as 3 of the 4 individuals who were involved in this situation that accused the band of assaulting them in the parking lot after the show for no good reason. The details are all in the pinned post of that video if you care to really dig into the information. But the only reason I made a video was because nobody else was talking about it. Nobody else was listening to these kids. On Twitter, they were getting like totally shit on, and just people acting absolutely terrible to these people. And also they didn't want to get the police involved, which I didn't agree with. But then of course I got chewed out for even bringing that up, because, oh, you're a bootlicker, blah, 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 blah. We'll get into all that. And so I made a video, not even saying that this is what happened, just saying this is what's being told me. I've had 3 different people give me the exact same story separately, plus the venue owner corroborating it and saying that this band is basically like banned from that venue. And that was it. Like, but of course I'm a clout chaser. I'm a bootlicker. I tagged the the police department in that area in the Twitter post. They didn't like that too much. But I'm a dad, y'all. Like, I don't play that shit. I'm 36. I don't play these little kid games. If somebody allegedly engaged in a crime, which again, I'm not even saying that they did because it's not proven, probably never will be, I'm going to say something about it. And because I don't like seeing kids get hurt, because these were just like 18. One of them was like 17. And like 18 and 19-year-olds like getting beat up by a band for no good fucking reason, allegedly. And I had an entire weekend of just, like, my Twitter is nothing, but my shit blew up for those entire like 3 or 4 days. It was like almost a week of just nonstop threats. Literally people saying they were going to harm me. People who got their accounts banned because of some of the stuff that they said. Just truly vile, disgusting, and frankly embarrassing behavior, to the point my favorite post, because when I was looking around to see if anyone else was talking about it, there was like one Reddit thread, and most of the people were all backing the band and making it all about the mic stand, which was like a non-issue in it. It became like a meme. But there was one, like, I could tell, like, old school hardcore fan that sounded like he was probably in his 40s or something, and like from the actual like legit hardcore scene from back in the day. He's like, I don't know if this happened, but if this is true, this is some truly fatherless shit. And I thought that was like the best way to just sum up what I was thinking. And so props to that guy, whoever you are, if you happen to see this. Like, you are truly a based individual. But man, like, these kids who want to just like LARP on Twitter, and it's like, bro, you're not even a true hardcore kid. Like, you're on your fucking iPhone with your Twitter app, you're on Reddit, and you're just like talking shit to a screen. Ratio. It's like, dude, I'm in my fucking 30s. I don't care what a ratio is. Like, I didn't even know what a ratio was until like maybe a couple years ago. I don't give a fuck. Like, who cares? Twitter is not real life. So that's my rant. Keeping it at that. Truly, the the online young hardcore scene, especially surrounding bands like this, is just not something I want to be associated with, period.
I'd like to point out the first complaint I had against having books on my shelf and having like a tidy shelf came from a hardcore album review. God's Hate specifically. So I feel which is again,
so funny, because people like Henry Rollins are all about reading. Like, what the fuck?
Apparently reading is bad. As far as the band you're referring to is concerned, if all I'm going to say is that, like, if being hardcore means pointing guns at kids, then fuck it. I don't want to be hardcore.
Yeah.
It's weird that you want to be hardcore if that's what being hardcore entails. That's all I'm going to say.
And it's just extra funny to me too, because this is the same group of people who act all woke and are like, oh yeah, if somebody's being abused in our community, we're going to take care of our own and we're going to protect one of them was a female too. We'll protect our women. If you're, assaulting girls, then we're going to call you out and we're going to cancel you. And
it's so bullshit.
It's all bullshit. Like as soon as it's a band you like and people you don't care for at a show that you enjoy, then all of a sudden it's like, oh no, they're all fucking lying.
Yeah. See, that's also why I'm kind of like cancel culture ain't fucking real, man. Like it's so dumb. But yeah, once again, like if you got to point guns at kids to feel hardcore, to be hardcore, then fuck it. I don't want to do that. I guess I'm not hardcore.
As a guy
ratio, whatever.
As a guy pursuing a career in audio, if you break a mic stand, I will break that mic stand in your fucking ass. So if they did that, like,
Mike in defense of the mic stand,
that just triggers me right fucking there. I'm like,
rip to the mic stand.
Sorry, like. Fuck you. I will stick that right up your fucking ass, you motherfucker.
Yeah, they like caused damage to the venue. One of the bands that was on tour with them also went ahead as to make like t-shirts that were like, oh, I got guns, I was held at gunpoint and all I got was this lousy t-shirt or something like that. Yeah. So like they knew what they did was stupid and wrong and they profited off of it, that is unhinged behavior.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Truly disgusting.
Apparently we're not going to name the band in question. But yeah,
no, I don't feel like
y'all should know who it is by now.
If you know, you know. If you want to know, you can figure it out pretty easily. And again, it's all alleged. It's probably never going to be proven, and it could be totally wrong. Like it could be an untruthful story. But the fact that so many people went to bat,
there's enough like evidence and like enough people corroborating.
The fact that so many. Could I have handled it better? Maybe, sure. But like the fact that so many people went to bat against these kids was just truly disgusting to me. Absolutely.
At the very least we can hear them out. I'll say this too. Like if one person tells me that my food sucks, fuck you. But if 30 people say it, if 30 people say my food sucks, then clearly there's something wrong with the recipe or the way I'm cooking it. That's how I see it, at least. Yeah. So if all these people are coming forward corroborating that claim, then clearly something's up. Something.
Yep.
I mean, I definitely don't have as much against the hardcore fan base as I do against another fan base that ends with the word core. But,
Mike, we don't have time. We don't have time for your meme.
Nintendo Core, right?
Yes. Oh,
we stand Nintendo Core here.
Yeah.
Oh, God. We have to wrap it up, y'all. We have gone way too long.
Hold on.
Impossible.
God damn.
I need a Snyder director's cut of this fucking whole thing.
Yeah, seriously. I honestly, I'll probably leave most of it in because it's been fun. Just really want to say, check out Mad Mike's channel and also the Metal Meltdown's channel for plenty more awesome and often hilarious videos. Check out this video if you haven't seen part 1 when we talked about bands last year, but I think that pretty much does it. Let us know down in the comments your most toxic fan base encounters you've had, but that'll do it for now, and we will see you in the trenches.